First, I just want to thank everyone here for giving me the opportunity to serve. You know, life is all about developing relationships. It's all about developing relationships. And the thing about it, you never get anywhere in life all by yourself. It's about other people assisting you. And I'll tell you, growing up, my mentor, my hero, and the one that I admired the most was my brother. And the reason why, you know, my father died, I was 6, and he was only 9, 3 years old. So mother was out trying to earn a living to provide our necessities, bare necessities. My sisters also. So who I had to spend all the time with? My brother. And that's who I emulated. He carried me, we went together. We did yard work together, and I never will forget one instance. Me and my brother did a lot of yard work with some of the people my mother and sisters worked for. So this house over on Phoenix Street, one Saturday, we were doing yard work. And you know, now we're talking back in the 50s and 60s. You know how things work. So we were doing work this day, and it was lunchtime. And the man came out and said, okay, lunchtime, you all come on in and get some lunch. My brother looked at me and I looked at him, I said, you the oldest, what you gonna do? But that's our first instance, inviting us inside to sit at the table with them to eat. You know, we're talking about the late 50s and the 60s, how things were. You know, you talk about people, what were your aspirations? What were your goals when you're growing up? You know, for those, you know, living in the 50s and 60s, we didn't have many goals or aspirations during that particular time. You know, but one of our favorite songs we would always listen to was Sam Cooke. A change is gonna come. A change is gonna come. You know, when we would listen to that, things began to change. You know, I followed him. He played football. You know, go to the games. He played football, basketball, and track. I think he did all those to try to get away from me, you know. But you know, I always looked up to him, so I played football. Didn't have the basketball skills, but I ran track. You know, he went out to college, played football, I followed. He majored in biology, I majored in biology. And you didn't know it. He came back to Greenwood and taught school at Greenwood High, the first year of integration, biology and science. I came 2 years later in 1970. Biology and science. You know, but during that time, we started building relationships. You know, I started relationships back in 1961 when we went to Brook. My classmates, we started developing relationships. You know, when we went to college, I developed relationships. When I came back and started teaching at Greenwood High, developed relationships. You know, with the teachers, with the students, the parents, and everything. And those relationships made an impact on my life. They really made a change in developing those relationships at Greenwood High School. And I'll tell you, one of the greatest relationships that I got from Greenwood High School was my wife, May. she was not at Greenwood High School. She did not work at Greenwood High School. You know how it happened? Through her sister. I was a young coach there. You know, I was teaching 5 biology classes, coaching football, had all these papers to grade. So during lunch or planning, I'd stay in my room to try to grade some papers. Football players would come by my room, you know, talking, Coach Nick, how you doing? A lot of students, I developed a good relationship with students. They would come by the room, hey, Coach Nick, how you doing? She had a sister, they were football players. One time came by and said, Coach Nick, I have a sister I want you to meet. She didn't know hardly anything about me. She had just met me through her boyfriend. And you know what? We met and it clicked. And the main thing I can tell you all, you know, a lot of people go to church and they talk about promised land. I tell you, good things are in the promised land. Because when Amy was in the promised land, I went and got her. But the thing about it, she left. I hope we can get back the second time. But you know, through the relationship, you never know the outcome when you form good relationships. So I formed those relationships at Greenwood High School, at Brady Center, working with the clients and the parents there. Relationships, everywhere, relationships. And I always tell my kids, how far you go in life depends upon your people skills. You have to have people skills. And it's important to develop good people skills. And I tell you, say, I think back on the record, a change is gonna come. When change happens, you have to change. You have to change. And I always think about Michael Jackson's song, Man in the Mirror. Go look in the mirror. I looked in the mirror. I had to change. You know my changes? You have to let go. Yep. You know, I was upset about the Orangeburg massacre, what happened, the way things were happening in society. But sometimes you have to let go of those things. I don't care how upset I was about it. It wasn't going to change. It had happened. But what you can do is try to get involved to make sure things don't happen again. Yes. So that's what drove me. Let go of those things. You know, there are so many people who cannot let go. And if you don't let go, you cannot grow. You know, you live in the past. That's why they call it past. It's something beyond. You have to let go. You know, I know in the 50s and 60s the way things were. I can remember, but I don't have to live in it. And get to know people for yourself. We have too many people living on preconceived conceptions about people. That's what they say. Get to know them yourself. And it'll make a difference. You know, so I just thank God for all of you, for the people that I've met, the relationships that we have built. And I pray that the things I've worked on with other individuals have done things to enhance the quality of life for other individuals. You know, it's never been about me. Whenever I ran for office, I say, if I'm not successful, maybe somebody behind me can do it. Pave the way for somebody else. But be willing to step out and make a difference. And if it's in God's will, it'll happen. Amen. And I cannot thank God enough for this individual, my wife, the support. Support from her, my brother, sister, my kids. I'm always the support that they've given me. And like I say, it's not about I, me, and myself. It's about we and us. What we can do together. You know, it's about serving humanity, helping other people. And I'll tell you, I learned that from my mom. My mom did work to provide for us. didn't have anything. But you know what? I never heard her complain. I never heard her speak bad about other people, the way things were. She did whatever she could, and she was always willing to help somebody else. We didn't have a car, we walked everywhere, you know, but it was about helping somebody else. And Mom always said, if you want to go for in life, treat people the way you want to be treated. Regardless. That has always been my philosophy, to treat people the way I want to be treated. And I thank each one of you for what you have been in my life, and I pray that we will continue to work together for the betterment of all individuals, to make the world a better place for all. Thank you. God